Okay, coming up on my show now, it's a pleasure to interview Katharine from the all-conquering collective that is the Medieval Babes, here with me on a live interactive video interview right now. Soon comes around this time of year. How's life been for you this year and treating you today?
Well, life has been very busy for me because it was only last night at about 11 p.m. that I signed off on our latest album, which is called The Spinning Wheel. It's an album with 12 tracks, one for each month of the year. And December is our Christmas single, which we have just recently unleashed upon the world. Sorry, excuse me. And that December's a very, very festive track on the album, as befits Christmas, and the lyrics describe a medieval babe's Christmas, and when we all meet together with the public and light our torches and we process towards the church, and that's like the first act of the show. Make a
Great.
grand entrance, yeah.
And we'll chat more about that. Just wanted to throw it back from the start, really, because you're one of the
Yeah,
original founding members of the group.
I am the founding member. Yes,
The founding member.
I started it. Yeah,
That's incredible.
yeah.
Salvin Knows or Nos was your
Albanos,
debut.
that's the first album back from '97. Yes, that means save us in Latin.
And that was well received on the classical charts.
Yeah, very much so. Yes, yes, that went to the top of the classical charts. That one and the second one, Wildest Bliss, did extremely well. Yes.
Fantastic. And you've just released album after album, which just took you to now,
Yeah,
really. So
yeah, yeah.
on your current project, what kind of musical inspirations and ingredients can the listener hear in the Medieval Babes music on this time round?
Well, I mean, this album that's about to come out, it's just what I did is I've never written lyrics for the Medieval Baebes before. Prior to this, I've always like set ancient poetry to music or done musical arrangements of existing folk music and carols. But this time I started out with the lyrics, and I sort of wrote some poems, I guess, for each month of the year. What I felt summed up each month of the year in a poetical way, in a sort of way that made it sound like, if you didn't know I'd written it, that maybe the lyrics could be quite old. So it worked with the Medieval Babe style. So that was the starting point, was just nature and the seasons and the months.
Mm.
So it was a great theme, and it was extremely hard work because I'd never written all the lyrics as well as the music. But so I'm absolutely delighted to be able to sign off on that and take these songs out on the road. We're doing 5 songs from the new album. Obviously, we're starting the show with December because that's, like I said, is a very extremely festive song, but we'll also be performing like Christmas carols and stuff from our back catalogue in the set. So there's going to be a real mix in there.
Cool. And December as well. It's a beautifully heavenly, pleasant song.
Thank you. That was the idea. I just wanted it to sound like a pre-existing Christmas carol because everyone likes that familiarity, that the sort of warm glow that familiar Christmas carols brings people. So I tried to make it sound like a Christmas carol, but the lyrics aren't actually religious, but they are very much about a spiritual coming together that is not specific to any
Mm.
religion.
And am I right? I can hear like a little bit of a fanfare on the track.
Oh yes, yes. Du- 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 du. Yes, very triumphant, very triumphant.
And you mentioned at the start of this interview, the Spinning Wheel, that will be your new album. How many tracks
Yeah.
are on this one?
Well, there's 12 tracks, one for each month of the
Nice.
year. For once, I didn't have to agonize about the running order.
A nice 12 dozen for the
Yeah,
listener then.
exactly. It's perfect album length. I think it's like
It
44,
is.
45 minutes long, so that worked really well. Yeah.
How did you decide on the album title as well, The Spinning Wheel? That's got kind of like a mystical
Yeah.
title to
Well,
it.
Well, obviously, I'm talking about the Earth spinning round, and all that is what brings all the seasons. But I like the fact that the spinning wheel has also got a lot of fairy tale, connotations. You get a spinning wheel in Sleeping Beauty and Snow White, and there's a very strong fairy tale component to Medieval Babes. We're more interested in the sort of the mythology of the medieval period rather than being historically accurate. We like to take people, and it's more about fantasy than historical authenticity.
Mm.
So that works for us.
And will this album be out next year?
It's going to be only available on Bandcamp from Friday, the 5th of December, which is a full moon, and also the date that our tour starts, 12th moon. So you can only get it on Bandcamp this year, but next year I'll be mailing out CD and vinyl, and it will be available on streaming platforms.
Very nice. And there'll be also another single release, October, will that have like a spooky-esque vibe to it?
Yeah. Well, October is there on Bandcamp at the moment. That's very much, it's quite a feisty one that because I'm imagining all the months of the year as goddesses, and so October is, it's things are getting quite stormy. She's a very powerful entity, October, and I think that is reflected in the lyrics. Where I do lots of kind of wailing and stuff. It's quite intense.
Uh, and
It's
you're
about
embarking on a
witches.
tour of historical towns and cities in the UK, including
That's
you're
right.
back at St Martin's in Birmingham. I'll be there for
Brilliant. Yeah.
to see you. What can the audience expect if they're seeing you all for the first time?
Well, at Birmingham, we've actually got a guest musician for that one. There's amazing violinist and cello and viola gamba player Jenny Bliss, who guests on a lot of the album. She's very virtuosic. Anyway, she's going to be playing as people are coming in, and that's going to be the beginning of the show. We're going to process up the aisle. We can't use our flaming torches outside because it's a shopping centre, but we're going to be doing a procession up the aisle. So that's how the
Hmm.
show will begin in Birmingham.
And will that kick off about 7:30?
Doors are at 7 and the performance starts at 7:30. And you can buy tickets from our website. And if you want to buy the album, or we've also got a calendar out, which obviously reflects the theme of the album, 12 songs from each month of the year. We've got a calendar like a companion piece. That's all available on Bandcamp as well. And the calendar will be available at the shows.
And that will be marking your landmark 30th anniversary.
So yeah, that is it's a commemorative calendar for next year for 30 years. Yeah.
And could you say it's a perfect stocking filler if it fits in?
I don't think it'll fit in. It's quite big. It's quite big. Maybe you could roll it up, I suppose.
And what do you enjoy about touring with all your fellow band mates?
Well, I mean, I really love the procession and the torches. That is because that's really gets me in the mood. It's such an epic thing to do, and but I mean, generally, I mean, it's just a lot of fun being around all these women. We all get very excited. There's a lot of giggling goes on. We have to watch it though, because if we cackle too much, we might lose our voices. Particularly the sopranos, they've got to be particularly disciplined. So we've got to try and keep a lid on it.
Mm.
But it's
And
a lot of fun. It's a lot of laughter.
how do you warm up before a concert? Keep the voice in check.
Yeah, we do a little. We do some what, like I was saying, the Sopranos. They need to warm up more because they've got to. It's easier if you're an alto. You can get away with partying a bit more, but if you're a soprano, you've got to be really disciplined.
Because the
I'm
medieval
an
babes
alto.
do hit
So
some high notes, don't they?
I'll say there's some very hot, very low notes as well. It's a massive range that we've got
Mm.
between us.
Wow.
Yeah.
And where's you mentioned Bandcamp, but where else is best to follow you on social media, emailing lists, and streaming platforms?
Yeah, you can join our mailing list if you go to www.medievalbabes.com. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. So yeah, there's a lot of beautiful photos coming out very regularly. We'll be thanking people for the shows, taking photos of all the gigs, and as we journey through the UK. So yeah, there's a lot of
Great, good
ways to
times ahead then.
stay
Yeah,
in
well,
touch.
that's everything I wanted to ask you today, Catherine, the founding member of the Medieval Babes, joining me on today's interview.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on the show. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again. You're most welcome.